Hi, welcome to the next Down a Minute. Okay, so we've been in the theme of identities, and from identities we go into meanings, and meanings we're going to go into behavior. But right now let's finish meanings, and we'll see how our meanings then make our behavior. When we talked about meanings in the past, what we've seen is that what things mean to you don't mean the same thing to everyone else. And so when I teach my Taoist students or my Living the Way students, one of the things that they go over and over in their classes, especially at the beginning, is the relationship portion or relationship module. And it's really important that you really understand your meanings and you really have the ability to understand the meanings of your partner. When dealing with anyone, whether it's in a business situation, dealing with children, dealing with a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, or just friends, what leads to most conflict is a conflict of meanings about something. Well, you did this and I was hurt. Well, why were you hurt? Because this means this to me. Well, in my world, it doesn't mean that. And so this conflict of meaning. And one of the ways that we work with our students over this is talking about that when a person's hearing you, it's going through the filters of their meanings. One of the most important first steps towards any type of relationship work or any type of communicating work with another person is to understand and appreciate the other person's world, right? You gotta have this heartfelt understanding. What does this person need? What does this person believe? If you're in a relationship with somebody, it's absolutely imperative you understand their filters. Because if you don't, and you just start speaking to them, you're in a veritable minefield of sort of, well, if I say this or if I say that, they're going to get upset and you're going to feel like you're tiptoeing through your relationship, and that's not a way to live. But learning to speak to people's meanings, learning to speak to people's filters is absolutely imperative for you to have a harmonious relationship. And so a lot of times my students say, okay, so if I'm speaking to somebody, I need to speak to their filters. And I say, exactly. And they say, but what if they don't speak to my filters? No, this is where you have to learn to listen, which is even twice as more critical as learning to speak. You have to learn to listen from people's filters. And they say, but then what about my filters? Well, the reality is you can use your filters with yourself, but your filters do not extend past you. And you will always, always, always have some of the hardest relationships in the planet with people you love the most. If you feel that you need a sense of equanimity, that if I have to learn your filters, you have to learn mine. No, you can teach people your filters. You can teach people your meanings. But remember, most people are absolutely caught up in their emotions. They're caught up in the events of their day, and they believe the events of their day are what predicate their happiness, not their attitude towards those events. So learning people's meanings, learning people's filters, learning people's needs is what helps you to be able to not only understand them, but also to speak to them. It's no different than a person who speaks Russian and another one who speaks Japanese. And this one has to learn Japanese idioms and axioms and aphorisms, because this person is going at home, they're going to be comfortable, they're going to speak, they're going to say, in my culture, we say this, understand that. And then when you speak back to them, you use those words and they say, they understand me. They get my meanings. When people feel seen, heard, and understood, they are absolutely relaxed, calm, and peaceful. They're more than willing to see, hear, and understand you. But if people don't feel seen, heard, or understood, all frustration and turmoil and emotions is, I have something that I want to get out, but I can't. I can't get it out because I don't have the language for it. You don't have the ability to understand my meanings. And when I do try to tell you my meanings, it causes conflict between us because you just don't understand me, which is one of the biggest things I hear in clinic or with my students or disciples. And it's one of the biggest hurdles that my Living the Way students or my Taoist education students really have to, sort of vault, is get over the hurdle of that you must learn to live through others' filters so that you can be seen, heard, and understood. Because to be seen, heard, and understood, you must first see, hear, and understand. Okay, this has been a long time on this next Down a Minute. So if you have any questions, put in the comments. Please don't hesitate to ask anything. If you want to email me offline, it's lau@fourdragonsemail.com. And until then, we'll see you next time on Down in a Minute.